Which choice best describes the function of the underlined portion in the text as a whole? The following text is adapted from Herman Melville's 1855 novel Israel Potter. Israel is a young man wandering through New England during the late 18th century. He hired himself out for 3 months. At the end of that time, to receive for his wages 200 acres of land lying in New Hampshire. His employer proving false to the contract in the matter of the land, and there being no law in the country to force him to fulfill it, Israel, who, however brave-hearted and even much of a daredevil upon a pinch, seems nevertheless to have evinced, throughout many parts of his career, a singular patience and mildness, was obliged to look round for other means of livelihood than clearing out a farm for himself in the wilderness. So option A says it implies that Israel treasures a particular characteristic of his personality, when that characteristic should usually be regarded as a flaw. This is incorrect because the underlined portion shows how Israel was rather brave or courageous to move on in spite of defeat, not that Israel treasures a particular characteristic of his personality. So A is incorrect. B. It suggests that if not for a certain aspect of his character, Israel might not have been as easily thwarted in his ambition to establish a farm. This seems to be the correct answer because this is represented in the text, where Israel was cheated with his land that he deserved, and he accepted this defeat and decided to look for another way to uh, obtain a farm. So B seems to be the correct answer. C. It shows why Israel would not have been able to undertake the enormous amount of labor necessary to run a farm, even if he had owned the necessary property. This is incorrect because the text simply doesn't say this, where nowhere in the text does it suggest that Israel would not have been able to undertake the enormous amount of labor necessary to run a farm. So C is incorrect. D. It explains why, when the situation requires it, Israel is able to undertake courageous acts that others would generally avoid. This is incorrect because nowhere in this underlined portion does it say that Israel would undertake courageous acts that others would generally avoid. It doesn't compare his acts to others, and therefore D is incorrect. So the correct answer is B.